Romelu Lukaku woke up on Tuesday morning to learn he had been labelled untouchable by his manager Jose Mourinho. By the time he went to bed he had learned that the same manager does not currently trust him to take a penalty kick. Such a mismatch of messages probably sums up life at Mourinho's United at the moment. In terms of results, there should be few complaints. United are second in the Premier League, as good as in the knockout stages of the Champions League and now unbeaten at Old Trafford in 38 games. But on the edges of Mourinho's world, there would appear to be some issues. At the weekend the United manager's problems seemed to be with the crowd after what was actually a very good victory over Tottenham. In his programme notes on Tuesday night, he underlined his point that he wants more backing. And now, on the back of a routine if unspectacular win over Benfica, another hare is running. One that won't stop until Lukaku scores again. Currently the Belgian hasn't done so for a month. That's hardly a crisis for a player who began the first season at his new club as though he would never stop scoring, but the words, and now the actions, of his manager have ensured that Lukaku will head into Sunday's league game at Chelsea under the spotlight. With United winning by a single goal with just over 10 minutes to go on Tuesday night, they were awarded a penalty after substitute Marcus Rashford's slalom into the penalty area ended with him on the seat of his pants. Anthony Martial had already seen one penalty saved by Benfica goalkeeper Mile Svilar in the first half and was no longer on the field anyway. So it seemed as though Lukaku was ready to step up and take the responsibility until first Ander Herrera and then, on the instruction of his manager, Daley Blind intervened. Blind eventually drove the penalty down the middle and in doing so sealed the game, but the whole episode was odd, especially when you consider that the left-back had never previously taken a penalty for his current club. As United celebrated the goal, Mourinho looked upset on the touchline, shouting and making talking gestures with his right hand. At full time he made to stride purposefully onto the field but then altered course and headed straight for the tunnel. History tells us that Mourinho often creates diversions and sideshows like this when something under the surface is bothering him. At this stage, nobody knows what it is. After Tuesday night's game he conducted an interview with TV that was strange even by his standards. He confirmed that he wanted Blind to take the penalty and suggested that he was happy another Champions League win had made more money for the club. In the TV studio, meanwhile, former United midfielder Paul Scholes claimed it was Mourinho's fault that Lukaku was now under such pressure to score. Mourinho, for his part, had said already that specialists in the media could continue to comment on my work. So as Mourinho's time at Old Trafford begins to follow the pattern of his time at other clubs, most notably Chelsea and Real Madrid, followers of the club will hope only that his team have the wherewithal to not be distracted from what lies before them. Despite all the noise, opportunity knocks for United. They will this weekend face a Chelsea team no doubt rocked by Tuesday night's mauling in Rome and have an opportunity not only to atone for the 4-0 defeat in West London that so upset Mourinho last winter but also knocked the London team out of the title race for good and maybe even ease their manager Antonio Conte towards a premature exit. Here a much-changed United team were recognisable in terms of their relatively modest football but also their resolve. Both are features of Mourinho's time at the club. There was a first Champions League start for young Scott McTominay and he did well enough alongside Nemanja Matic at the base of the United midfield. Elsewhere, Martial was a danger down the left but at times it was Benfica who played the football. Young keeper Svilar saved Martial's penalty comfortably in the 14th minute and looked to have atoned for the moment in the game in Lisbon 2 weeks ago when he carried Rashford's free kick into his own net for the decisive goal. However, just before half-time, Matic, who is actually a friend of the young goalkeeper, struck a low shot against the post and the ball rebounded to strike Svilar on the back and roll over the line. So even on a night when he played well, the 18-year-old ended with an own goal against his name. Benfica tried to rally in the second half and the big moment came with 25 minutes left when Eric Bailly presented the ball straight to Raul Jimenez and the striker bundled it against David De Gea's right-hand post. Had they drawn level at that point, nobody could have begrudged the Portuguese team. As it was, United subsequently kept them at arm's length and saw out the game. United's aggregate score in the Champions League this season is currently 10-1. It's an impressive stat and one that, for reasons only Mourinho will understand, will get hardly a mention between now and the weekend.